Shalom Aleichem. Welcome to the Shiur. This week we're going to talk about Kriyas Yamsuf. As you know, Pesach, we went out of Egypt. 6 days we wandered in the desert, back and forth, back and forth. It was done purposely, as Rashi explains, so that Paro should think the Jews are lost. They don't know where they're going. And no problem, they'll eventually return to slavery. Came the 7th day, they didn't return. The 6th day, actually. The 6th day, they didn't return. Paro got very upset. He said, I had all these slaves, millions of people, 600,000 men between the age of 20 and 60. But what about all the women and children? A few million people. I let a few million people, slaves, leave. No compensation for me. Not only that, I had to give them money. So he ran after them. He gathered his army, all his chariots, everything he can get put together. They bedecked themselves with gold and silver and precious stones in order to be able to show that they have the might, they have the wealth, and they can make all the demonstrations that they want, and nobody's going to stop them. Okay. The Jews got to the Red Sea, and they're looking around. We have the Egyptians behind us, chasing us. The sea is in front of us. How are you going to get a few million people across the sea? On one side was very tall mountains you couldn't climb. On the other side was a forest with wild animals. Where are we going to go? What are we supposed to do? Shir Hashirim, it says a pasuk, Hashmi'ini es koilech. Let me hear your voice. That's what Hashem says to the Jewish nation. And he brings a parable of a bird, a dove, that was being chased by a vulture. Vulture is big, aggressive. It's a bird of prey. He's running after this bird, after this dove. The dove says, well, I can't outrun him. I'm going to run into this cave. So he runs into the cave, but then there's a snake there. I got a snake on the inside, I got a vulture on the outside. What do I do? Who do I turn to? That's what Hashem says, Hashmi'ini es koilech. If you go through the history of the Jewish nation, we've always had vultures on one side and snakes on the other. People trying to get around us, right? Do whatever they can to destroy us. Vultures actually attacked us on different sides. Snakes swallow us up. Hashem says, Hashmi'ini es koilech. Who do you turn to in your time of trouble? Who do you turn to? Hashmi'ini es koilech. Let me hear your voice. That is the lesson of Kriyas Yamsuf, right? People said, well, let's go back to Egypt. What do? We're caught. We're stuck. Let's go back to the slavery that we know. Better the devil you know, right? Some say, try to cross the impassable peaks. Maybe difficult, maybe very difficult, maybe nearly impossible, but people have scaled different mountains and have gone. So maybe we can do it. Or let's run into the forest. Wild animals, well, we're a lot of people, maybe we'll be able to survive. Nobody thought that you can cross the sea. True, you can't. You try walking across water, doesn't work, doesn't happen. But Hashem said, I'm going to save you. To me, nature is nothing. Doesn't matter what the natural order of things is. You can't survive in water. You can't walk on water. But that doesn't apply to Hashem. The same thing, the survival of the Jewish nation all these years has nothing at all to do with natural force. Right? We've been smeared, we've been vulturized, we've been snaked, we've been battled and battered, and we're still here. It defies logic. It defies nature. The Armenians, 100 years ago or so, this is 2023, this was a little over 100 years ago, there was a massacre in Turkey, and they're still talking about it. Massacre is no good. But it's the one massacre that they had, the Armenian, and they're complaining about it all these 100 years, and that's it. By the Jews, it's every 50 years. Every 70 years, there's another group trying to destroy us. Nature, that's the nature of the nations, to destroy us. We're above nature. Kriyas Yamsuf, the splitting of the sea, tells us that it can happen. Pray to Hashem. Ask Him to help you. Ask Him to be with you. Try it. And you're going to see wonders and miracles that pervade your life. They're part of your life every single day. In the Shemona Esrei we say, Al nisecha shebechol yom imonu, your miracles which are with us every day. There's a miracle of getting up in the morning. The miracle of getting dressed and going out to work and doing what we have to do. It seems natural, but it's not. What it is a divine providence, miracles that are happening to us every single day. We're surrounded by all the Arab nations. They would love nothing more than to destroy us. And you have the Europeans, you have the Americans, the Australians. Everyone's ganging up on Israel today. But we're still here. Why? How? The reason we're still here is because Hashem wants us. What does He want us to do? He wants us to turn to Him in prayer. Hashem, help! Hashem, help me. Help me. I need help. I need you to come and be with me. I need to become part of you. I need to become one with you. We need to become united. As a people, as a nation, we need to become united. Shabbos afternoon, Mincha, the afternoon prayer, we say, Ato Echad, you Hashem are one. There are different descriptions of Hashem, but it's all one Hashem. V'shimcha Echad, your name is one. Umi ki amcha Yisrael goyecha ba'oretz. Who is like your nation Israel, one nation in the world? Unfortunately, there's a lot of demonstrations going on here. Paro wanted to demonstrate his strength. He took all his treasures and ran after the Jews. We have a lot of people today demonstrating in Israel. They're showing their power, their might. What might? What might? They're screaming and yelling in the streets. Hundreds of thousands of people, they have nothing to do. They're getting paid to be able to go out and demonstrate. Yeah. Imagine that. You don't have to work, right? You don't have to. It's a natural thing to work. You don't have to work. You can get paid for going out to demonstrate. And people are getting paid. They bring their whole family, right? Everyone in the family. You can make a few thousand shekels a day, right? Demonstrate. Power is demonstrating his strength, right? People today are making demonstrations, right? There's no logic, but the nature, right, is defined by logic, not Hashem. Hashem is above nature. Hashem is above logic, and we don't have to think that way. We have to think we're one nation. Yeah, we have differences. You always did, right? 2 Jews, 3 opinions, whatever. There's always been differences. But Kriyas Yamsuf shows us you need unity. We need unity. The message of Kriyas Yamsuf took a few hours. A few million people walked across the water. They walked across, they went down to the seabed. The seabed became dry. Everyone was able to walk, and they crossed the sea. How? What? Not only did they cross the sea, Hashem made many miracles. There were 50 miracles that are listed, that are enumerated. Look in the Breslov Haggadah, and you'll find that one of the miracles is that trees sprouted out from the earth, the bottom of the sea. It had all kinds of fruits. You got hungry, you crossed the sea, and wanted a peach or an apple. You had it. You wanted to drink water. The water just covered them, but if you wanted to drink, it became fluid, and you were able to drink. And the Jews were able to walk on a paved, not actually paved, but a dry bed. Not water, not mud, and so on and so forth. Miracle after miracle after miracle. And that is the power of Hashem. You don't need nature, you need Hashem. The idea is, Hashmi'ini es koilech. Call out to Hashem. Call out. Scream out to Hashem. Where are you? How do I join with you? How do I become part with you? How do I realize the greatness of Hashem? And by that, how do I realize the greatness of the Jewish nation? Beautiful people, wonderful people. Everyone, you're on the right, you're on the left, you're in the center. Doesn't mean a thing. What matters is how you bring out the power and greatness of Hashem, that He chose us as a nation, and we're still here. After all the vultures and after all the snakes that we faced throughout our lifetime, Hashem is with us. May Hashem help that we merit to see the splitting of the sea, and we merit to see the beauty of Hashem, right? I mean, the Gemara says that to find a soulmate is as difficult as splitting the sea. Or the livelihood of a person, to earn it, is as difficult as splitting the sea. Right? Okay? But was it difficult for Hashem? No. If it wasn't difficult for Hashem then, it's not difficult for Hashem now too. All we have to do is turn to Hashem, and with that Be'ez Hashem, we're going to see miracle upon miracle upon miracle with the coming of Mashiach, the building of the Beis HaMikdash. Amen.